are Mere Casuals.
So we're going to have to try and do this. We're going to have to try and do this episode as error-free as possible and as Allen issue-free as possible.
Okay, hold on. I got a message.
Because that reminds me. Oh, I was going to turn the volume off on my phone. The volume's up the recorder. My phone's up the recording.
Did you want me to reach up and mess with it?
I would like you to not. So in the past, I don't know, weeks, in the past months, we've had people say that we should record this, not only audio, but video for YouTube purposes, so that we can put the videos up on the internet, on the YouTube. And to that I say, you think you do, but you don't.
Okay, first of all, you're old. It's the internets.
I know, there are several. You missed my big joke. People say they want to see us video while we're recording, and I say, I think you do, but you don't. You get the joke.
Yeah.
Okay. Laugh then. For crying out loud. There we go.
I don't get it.
Well, okay. So
explain it for those of us. I get it, but explain it to Sam. So
at
she knows.
BlizzCon, back in, I don't know, 2017 or 18.
I wasn't alive then.
People had been, I said 2000, not 18. People had been clamoring. There was much a clamor. That's
Is
an
that a
old person
Pokemon?
word. That's Clefairy, I believe. People had been clamoring for WoW Classic servers. But Blizzard didn't want to make WoW Classic servers. So one of Blizzard's big guys, one of the big head people, I don't remember his name,
Like
one
me?
of the guys.
I'm a big guy. Sorry.
I don't know. Was it that Mike guy? I don't remember who said it. But one of their big guys got up on stage at BlizzCon and said people have been asking for WoW Classic servers. And they say they want WoW Classic. They want fresh Classic to go back to. And he said, well, you think you do, but you don't, in like the most condescending way a person can possibly say a thing.
Oh, now
so
I get it.
He was basically saying, oh, all you people think you want to play WoW Classic, but you don't want to play WoW Classic. You want to play retail.
Can I ask a question? Is BlazeCon the same as BlizzCon?
I didn't say BlazeCon.
Okay.
Con.
We can play it back.
No, we can't. It's video now. There's no way of knowing what anything's happened at all. It's impossible. So yeah. So that was the joke. That was my joke. I explained my joke. But
okay, tell it again. Now that we know the background, tell it again.
So on the off chance that people are listening to this on podcast form and don't know, I'm not telling the story again. This is a separate thing.
I know.
On the off chance
You
that
don't know
people
what
are
to do with my face now.
Just leave it where it is. It's fine.
just your face is just what you should do is sit up like attentive like you are now. What you usually do is about 5 minutes into the recording, you go, and you just stay there for the rest of the time.
him or me? Oh,
So
you didn't notice?
I didn't
Just
know
had
what
my finger up my nose.
Gross. See, we're not looking at you. We're trying not to look at you. So for people listening in the audio format on, say, Spotify or Apple, what's it called? Apple Podcast, whatever it's called. We are video recording this audio recording, and we're going to try and make a video out of it and put it on. Do you not like your coffee?
No.
What's in it?
I used your French creamer.
Why don't you use your creamer?
Because someone's got to drink it.
She likes your cream better.
But
Well,
whatever.
apparently she doesn't.
So anyways, this is our podcast / our video. What do you call a podcast that's on video? Is it just a video?
It's a vodcast.
No, I'm not saying that. That's terrible. So we are mere casuals.
Oh, wait. What was that thing that he kept calling it, my wrestling friend, that you said it isn't pronounced that way?
A vlog? I'm not saying vlog.
We're doing a vlog.
We are not doing a vlog. That's not a thing. That's not how you pronounce that word. Like, is it like in the old days of the internet when people had the text-based B-logs? Nobody called them B-logs, except for psychopaths. So we are mere casuals. I'm Josh / Will Riker / also Will Riker with one less L.
I'm Alan / O'Kona, also / Righteous Squid.
Nobody's using that name.
Yeah, and I'm a vlogger.
No, you're not. Who are you, Sam?
I'm Sam / Rolaren.
/ Rolaren.
/ Is that your only character? Okay.
Play regularly.
And we are a World of Warcraft podcast that focuses on Wrath of the Lich King, the World of Warcraft expansion. And, you know what? I didn't think much past this. What are we going to talk about today? What should we do first? Should we do what have we been doing? Should we do the news? Because I haven't looked up any news, and
there
I can't.
news?
My phone's up on the tripod.
I don't have any news.
You don't have any news?
Let's look up the news.
So
I know this great Discord we can get the news from.
you going to steal the news from Bob?
I can steal the news from Bob.
I mean, technically, Bob
Because
steals the news from Wowhead.
Somebody hasn't set up our bots yet.
We have bots.
Not going to
I
mention any names,
downloaded
Josh.
it, but there are so many super complicated
Then
commands.
make me
you
an
have to type in.
administrator, and I can fix it.
You
We
don't
love
know
each
how
other.
to do things.
No, but I can figure
You're
it
like
out.
60
unlike-
years old. You're an old dog that cannot be taught new tricks.
I can now stare.
You're just going to look at the camera. You can do the office thing and look at
I
the camera.
forget
every
what
time
I'm
I say
looking for.
something annoying.
Wowhead News. Okay, so
Just go to the thing.
China. I remember this actually. Oh,
Hold on. Wait.
my hair's out of place.
Stop. Pause yourself for a second.
I don't think that's picking up.
No, I'm not pausing because there's sirens going on outside. I'm pausing for news intro.
It's
So now
time for the
let's,
news.
Let's what were you talking about? News things?
China. China has unconditionally approved Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard.
That
Only 2 people are against it. I don't know who they are, but
is a thing that happened.
yeah.
Okay. What does that have any bearing on it? Does that mean WoW servers are going to open in China again?
I was wondering that why would they would maybe they want it to. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's going to.
Notice how I'm not mouthing the words Al's saying while he's saying them.
Yeah.
There's also, if you haven't read them yet,
'Cause that's not a thing I do.
If you haven't read them yet, I haven't read them because I'm not there. But there are updated PTR patch notes.
Oh, I believe we talked about them
Yeah.
yesterday, day before.
Yeah. So I mean, I can tell you the headlines. That's basically I'm doing a headline read. So
Well, you say the headlines, and I'll say if I've heard anything about it.
yeah. There's the Isle of Conquest brawl with the Blues today. I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay, so
But,
I think
but that's not today. Sorry, don't go there. That was back on
today being today,
May
or today
18th.
being tomorrow, or today being
May 18th.
May 18th. That's
You know what? We
that's
should
none of
prepare
those
the news
days.
better. I don't like doing BlizzCon. There's news about BlizzCon.
June 3rd and 4th.
Yes,
It's not
November
June 3rd
and
or 4th.
4th.
It's November. Yeah,
And
you
it's
know what's
coming.
in November? You know what's in November?
BlizzCon.
American Thanksgiving.
Yes, and yes, but you know what else is in November? You don't know what else is in November? Okay.
Am I
No,
supposed
no,
to know?
we don't need to continue. We don't need to continue the conversation. What else is in
Does
the
he
news?
want us to say happy birthday now?
No, I'm saying you could get me BlizzCon tickets and a plane ticket.
Just for you?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more planning.
A lot more planning for what?
We'll need a babysitter.
Arena 6 ends
it'll
on
be
May
fine.
29th. If you got to get your points in, get them now. After
So
that,
can we
it
go
turns
back to the
into-
BlizzCon news?
I'm doing the headlines.
No, you're reading the headlines, but we have to discuss the news.
Earlier in the week, the European Commission approves the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So
So
news,
this is not just a
BlizzCon.
China thing.
Well, China's just one of many. There's only 2 people that are opposed, and again, I don't know who
To
they are.
people or to like people?
Yes,
Okay.
BlizzCon, November 3rd to 4th.
Would you ever go to BlizzCon?
I would.
This year?
Not this year. We can't go this
Well,
year.
so you change it from ever, bring it down to this year.
Would you go say?
It
say
depends.
If we didn't
At
make
that
it
time, it'll depend. I might have more time at that time. We'll see. And I looked
more time
away.
and less money. Well, I mean, if you retire,
Because you're 65, right?
oh, at least. You know what? The thing is, if we do post this in video form, when that happens, I'm so zooming in on Al's face, and people are going to be like, "Is he 65? He might be 65."
I'm checking. I didn't win the lottery last night, so yeah, I'm not retired.
Oh, that's a shame. So, but yeah, no, we should plan. I don't know. I feel like it's too late. That's so loud. Why'd you throw your phone?
I didn't win the lottery. Oh, now I
I'm
have
gonna
to buy a
check
new
what he
phone.
wants. There's gonna be a pain in the butt to edit that stuff out. I'll figure it out. So, I doubt we can go this year because it's kind of short notice. That's only like 4 months away. Wait,
You know what else is short?
6 months away. What?
Nothing, just a notice. Okay.
But the year after, we could like long-term plan. So here's the thing. Here's what we do. Okay. So we keep doing this, right? We make this podcast. We grow a we grow
What? Or where?
we grow a World of Warcraft podcasting empire. Podcasting and video casting empire. We become the top World of Warcraft podcast in the world, and we get invited by Blizzard personally. Like, they come to our front door, they knock on it, and they personally ask us to come to BlizzCon.
So,
and then we go down. This will be next year. So this is our 18-month plan.
So, what are we going to do today, Josh?
We're going to try and take over the World of Warcraft.
I win.
But that's our 18-month plan. That's accurate. And you know what? While we do that, we move out of an area that's constantly being harassed by police sirens.
Well, the first one was an ambulance. We live on the main road to the hospital.
We should create a compound.
Like chemical compound?
Yes. Which you explode into the air and it sucks in all the siren noises.
That's called a cult.
No, that's a different kind of compound. He's talking about sciencey stuff.
Yeah, I totally wasn't talking about that compound.
Oh, you want to actually make an actual cult? Because I've been saying I wanted to be a cult leader for a long time.
I know you have, and that's why I brought it up.
Well, I need more money. We should, you know what? That's what we should do. We should
just
start a Patreon and raise money to start a cult.
Land is cheaper than an actual house, and we can get tents.
You're really quiet. No, don't yell. Don't yell. I'm just lean closer to the mic.
There is a stage between
you know what?
yelling and quiet, though.
No, she doesn't have that. So what we should do, because if we do video post this, people will see. Because you see where I am now. This is the ideal distance. I'm talking to you. This is the ideal distance to be from this microphone.
And
Sam is usually
looking at him.
back here.
I can't see what's there.
Yeah, see what we did is we skipped ahead from a normal, maybe having one camera set up to a multi-camera setup.
Hold on a sec.
Oh, what are you
Mere
do?
casuals in 3D.
Oh, don't. This is gonna get annoying. So, is there any more news?
Not that I saw. Nothing that was.
There was more news because I know you missed this because I feel like it was on the news feed.
Why did you ask?
I was wondering if you would get to it.
I didn't. I threw my phone.
Yeah, I still question why you did that. So
I'm on video now. I'm going to be a little dramatic.
The other thing that happened, you were dramatic before. So the other thing that happened is a guild on a WoW hardcore guild. I was going to say a guild on a WoW hardcore server, but they're not out yet.
Oh, he's going to complain about that.
I usually do.
But he's going to talk about the guild first, which is good news.
It's going to be my thing. Well, kind of. So a guild, a World of Warcraft hardcore guild.
This is why we don't go live, folks.
Killed Cthulhu on... Yeah, there's no more to that sentence. A guild killed Cthulhu hardcore. So you have to go through AQ40, kill all the things, and then kill Cthulhu at the end. And they did it with no deaths.
Except Cthulhu's.
But that was planned. And is what?
The twins.
The twins.
Did they do the bug trio?
That's optional, so I would imagine probably not. Although I didn't watch the stream. So they did that. And when I saw that, I thought back to the Road to Rag when the hardcore guild killed Ragnaros. Is that how you say that?
Ragnarok.
That's a different thing.
Ragnaros.
So, and then that got me Googling things because, no, that's not what got me Googling things. What got me Googling things was listening to Warcraft Reloaded last week. Not this week episode that's coming out tomorrow / 2 days from now. I'm on that episode. The one that was out before. Yeah, no, you're so impressed, Sam. Yeah, you're bitter. So I was listening to that, and they were talking about hardcore raiding. And I kind of had this picture in my head of what hardcore was because I've read the rules for hardcore. And then I heard them talking about it, and someone said something about them doing it with, like, making sure everyone had full consumes and everything. Full consumes, right? And I'm thinking to myself, is everyone an alchemist? How do they have full consumes? And then they were talking a little bit later about how their guy that they had in charge of making the resist gear died unexpectedly. So they had to go do a bunch of trash farming runs and level another blacksmith.
Real life or in-game?
I would imagine probably in-game, but
who knows? You know what? I don't know. Maybe he dark roomed too many times in real life.
Yeah, somebody had to log him in and ceremoniously kill his character too.
That's a different thing. Stop trying to sidetrack me and tell me a story. So I know what you're doing. So
Why are we
they were
not allowed
talking
to
about this, they're
sidetrack all
like,
of a sudden?
we have to level up another blacksmith by like farming the trash runs in Molten Core and giving him all the stuff to level up. And I'm like, wait, so they've got someone making resist gear like for himself? Because here I am under the impression that hardcore is solo self-found, or you can duo because there's the duo stuff, but you're not supposed to trade with other people, right? That was my impression.
You're unlocked from some of that at 60.
I'm getting to my disillusionment. So I'm thinking this, and I'm like, why do I look this up? Because this doesn't sound like hardcore rules to me. So I looked it up, and basically with hardcore, as soon as you hit 60, it's just a normal server now.
Back to softcore.
Because they were also talking about like pre-bis runs, right? Like to get all their pre-bis before they do Molten Core. And I'm looking into this, and the more I look into it, the less impressed I am with the Ragnos skill. Because you can make that face all you want, and that makes for great YouTube, the faces you make when I talk. But like, so they're hitting 60, which okay, going 1 to 60 hardcore is not easy. I mean, not everybody can do it, but people can do it.
I'd just like to say a few things. Hey, in my defense, I make those faces when the camera's not on me as well. Except now I just happen to look at you guys.
They're not wasted faces now.
And it's kind of hard to not stop some of the rules and do hardcore rating.
Let me get to my. I'm trying to tell I'm going through my whole range of emotions when I found this out.
You guys told me I need to interrupt more, so you'll
I
have
didn't
to.
say you need to interrupt more. I'm sure Bob probably told you need to interrupt more.
Hopefully they don't see that Sam's
But
going.
I'm trying to tell a story. She'll be back. She's dealing with things. So imagine my surprise when I look up and I find out that the raid group that killed Ragnos, they hit 60, and there wasn't just 40 of them. There was many of them. So they hit 60, and then they're spamming dungeons to farm their pre-vis gear, which I get. There's risk. You could die, etc., etc. And I'm thinking, okay, so they're doing Molten Core with all their pre-vis, but it's still not great gear, so whatever. It's still borderline impressive. And then I'm looking, and I see, they spent weeks
Farming Molten Core.
as well. So not only can you do the dungeons more than once, you can farm the raid. So they're farming mats to make the resist gear. They're farming the first handful of bosses in Molten Core to get all their phase 1 vanilla abyss stuff.
They're doing all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, so they did a Molten Core run with limited deaths in like almost full BIS phase 1 gear. So it's getting like less impressive to me at this point. And then I find out, as I'm reading through an explanation of what's going on, then I found out that there was actually a roster of 70 people on the road to Ragnos kill, that they would swap out players from boss to boss based on, the optimal comps for each boss. And after all of that, I'm thinking to myself, of course you can clear Molten Core with nobody dying if you're in full Molten Core gear and you're swapping out a roster of 70 people for optimal comps and you've been practicing for months. Like, of course you can do it. Molten Core's not hard. And like, congratulations to the guild that did it. But like, is it that awesome? Because when I first heard that this group of hardcore players not only made it to 60, but then they cleared Molten Core, my picture in my head was, wow, they did each dungeon once. Maybe some of them were lucky enough to get some gear. And then they just went in and cleared Molten Core. Like, maybe they planned ahead a little bit. Maybe they strategized, but they made it through Molten Core without farming all the best gear, without dying. Like, this is an amazing feat of skill. I was impressed when I thought that's what happened. And then I was less impressed.
Yeah, I get that actually.
And they have people they have alchemists supplying everyone with potions and flasks. Oh, and by the way, you can have wipes because you can give your whole raid flasks of petrification, and then they can take their flask of petrification, then they can drop group and they get safely teleported out of the dungeon. So even if something goes bad,
they have to survive
they're still
until that
cheesing
box
their way
pops
out.
up.
Until what box pops up?
That they're going to be out of the group.
Yeah, but you've taken a flask of petrification. You can't be hit or engaged in combat.
But that box is for 60 seconds. The flask is for 60 seconds. So you can leave raid, but that doesn't come up right away. So you still have to try and get away.
Okay.
And yes,
so,
yes. I know it's still
so
easy. I'm just saying there's like...
So you see the wipe,
but
you see the wipe happening.
Yeah.
You hit leave raid, then you pop your flask and you're good.
You hit leave raid, then you wait for the box to come up, then you pop your flask and you're good.
Okay. But like I've been involved in Molten Core raids or Molten Core wipes before. A Molten Core wipe.
I was there.
A Molten Core wipe can take 5 minutes while everything slowly unravels and the bosses slowly kill you. Like it can be.
Not if you want everybody to survive. It could take like 1 second.
It's like watching a car crash between two 90-year-olds going 3 kilometers an hour. Like Molten Core wipes happen slow sometimes.
Yeah. That's popcorn in the background in case you hear it.
It's nice that when we decided to do this in as little editing as possible because we're recording, that would be the day that as much as humanly possible is happening in the background. People are going to know how much I like stutter and trip over my words too.
I am falling asleep.
Are you done making a whole bunch of noise in the other room? Don't knock the camera. Okay. So what do you think of that?
What?
Of the story I just told?
It was good.
But do you agree?
Sure.
Like, should they be able to?
Yes.
Like every time?
Yep.
Okay. So now,
Without
and then I
the pill?
hear...
Yes.
Okay. So, and then I hear that they did Cthulhu, which is more impressive. But what bosses are mandatory in AQ40?
Oh,
I'm asking. I'm not trying to do a leading question.
Scram.
I don't remember. Scram?
the guy at the beginning, Prophet Ski Ram or Scrams.
Oh, right. Okay, the first boss.
Yeah. And
So
then,
that's, I mean, he's not super hard, but you got the mind control.
yeah.
So you got to control yourself and not kill the mind controlled person.
No, somebody else has to control you. Oh yeah, you guess you have
You
to
also
control yourself.
have to not. You also have to not turn around and intentionally kill the mind controlled,
So-
which is a difficult a difficult thing for a lot of WoW players to do. To not turn around and deliberately kill your mind controlled teammate.
Yeah. The little flying wasp humanoid guy.
Well, let's go through in order. Wasn't there a second boss similar to the one in AQ20?
No, I thought that was after the flying guy.
Is it? Okay.
So
The
I was
flying
going to
guy,
mention
is that
him.
Huhuron? No, are we talking about the whirlwind guy?
Yeah, the whirlwind,
guy, not guy,
the
but
little
whirlwind
sandbug.
boss. Sandbug.
Huhuron.
And Twin Emperors.
And then I'm just going to count them because they're freaking hard. The walking dog
the trash.
people.
Yeah.
The trash is a boss.
But I mean, that's just a matter of knowing what you're doing, though.
Yeah.
Once
The
our
twins.
guild that was not elite by any means, after a while, after enough practice, we were able to kill those without deaths.
So the twins, the trash after them. I'm getting tired just thinking of it. This is why I stopped playing for TVC.
That was a fun raid.
And-
though. I liked that raid.
Yeah, and Cthulhu. Well, yeah, it was kind of them.
Killed Cthulhu
It
one.
was kind of them kicking everybody out that was geared. And
We
then,
killed Cthulhu a few times.
Oh yeah, I've been to a number of Cthulhu guilds.
So, all of that, I mean, I know we've had no death emperor kills, twin emperors killed. Because once
I
you
like
get...
the Twin Emperors fight.
It's a fun fight, but once you get that fight down, it's a simple fight. If
You
you've
would
got your
think
tank
so.
swaps down...
Did you see
and-
our guild?
Yeah, well, our guild could do it. And our guild has done it. I know we had at least one kill where we had no deaths, because we had some really clean Twin Emperors kills.
Yeah, I remember that one run we did where we were just going through and killing all the way towards the end.
Yeah, well, we had one run where our kill time was competitive with a lot of the top guilds
I
on
remember
our
that.
server.
That
at
was
the
a
time.
fun run.
And then it's when it all went downhill after that.
They
Like
started
that was
kicking
our
out the geared
peak.
people.
That was our peak. But
Well, thank you for helping me
if we
get this
could do it-
weapon. See ya.
yeah, but if we could do it, anyone can really.
It's true. It's true.
But I'm thinking where are
we are
the
casuals.
but I'm thinking where are the real roadblocks there? Huhuron was a giant pain in the butt.
They kept putting nature resist gear on the tanks.
They did. I know it was wild. But I mean, if you're good enough
On
in a
the
perfect
main
raid
tank.
comp, you could probably do that without deaths.
It's good on the off tanks, but the main tank, let him do. They took when they finally took the nature resist gear off of me because I was main tanking him once. We killed him.
So, would you care to, real quick, explain to this guild that killed the entire zone on hardcore the strategy for Huron, please? Just so they know.
As a main tank, I went in, I get aggro, and I keep aggro.
Good
And
call.
I continue to hit it.
And everyone else did their thing, and then the boss dies.
And then everybody else, some had to stay away, some had to get close. When he poisoned you with a certain kind of poison, because I don't remember all the exact words, you got frozen in time. Yeah.
Fun fight. So, and then I'm thinking about Cthulhu, right?
Yeah.
And my memory of Cthulhu was, if you have the perfect raid comp, because we had way too much melee most of the time in our guild.
Yeah.
Too much melee is a problem because you got to space out and all that nonsense.
Make sure you keep your 10 feet. It's like, dude, we all need to get up there. What are you talking about?
Some people just need to sit out.
He's got a hitbox. That's what she said.
But yeah, so I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking when I'm thinking about Cthulhu. I'm like, okay, as long as you have like the perfect raid comp for Cthulhu, it should be easy. And then I remembered the start to the fight because someone said something about they were doing dry runs in the Emperor room, and they'd kind of map out on the mini map. They'd be like, okay, pretend this is Cthulhu and this is the door, and they were doing dry runs practicing. And I'm
Everybody
like, oh
running
yeah,
together.
because when you run in, the I-beam goes off. And how many times did we go to run in and somebody messed up and the entire raid got zapped with the I-beam? Can you imagine that wiping out an entire hardcore raid?
That would be fucking
You know what they do,
hilarious,
though?
I'll tell you.
The guy that ran in and got I-beamed, he'd probably just petition and be like, "Yeah, sorry, I got lag spike, my computer shut down, I got disconnected," and get all the deaths overturned. So it'd be fine anyways.
Can you do that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Now that is on.
I'm not saying I'm skeptical of anything. I'm not being a skeptic right now.
That's on the private server.
Was that that was not a private server, was it?
There's no official hardcore servers yet, are they?
No, but there's a hardcore app and a hardcore like website and a hardcore community.
I think the hardcore
tracks
elite,
this
because it's
stuff.
the hardcore elite, right?
I don't know.
But I think they're on that Turtle something server.
I don't know what server they're on.
Turtle Dove, one of the 12 days of Christmas.
Okay, I don't know. So
Learn that song, by the way.
I didn't know. I didn't
It's
know
a
the
song?
order of things. So, but what you can do is if you die, you can petition, and if you disconnected and then died, they'll overturn the death. Or if you were killed by a griefer, you can petition, and they will overturn the death.
Not
so
before
it's like
20.
it never happened. Yeah, but who cares before 20?
Death is
Just
final.
suck it up and make a new character if you die
Yeah.
before 20.
Death equals delete. Oh, except for that.
Unless you petition and the
Death
people that
equals
run
delete.
the thing like
Oh,
you.
except for that.
Yeah.
I'm pointing.
I'm
at
sure
you.
it's all on the up and up, and nobody has ever gotten an inappropriate death overturned.
There's nothing inappropriate
guarantee-
about me.
I guarantee that there has never been any shenanigans revolving around any kind of
I don't know if I like my
hardcore-
face being here. I feel like I have to act, and I don't like it.
Well, just be natural. Sam's being natural. Look, she's half asleep.
That's true.
So
Can I be half asleep?
I mean, if you want to.
Then the two of us is like one person. What are you talking about?
So that was one of my hardcore rants. I have multiple hardcore rants. You know what? The new hardcore servers. Is that news? Is that technically news still? I mean, that's news, right?
I don't know, but I have something to say.
Oh, okay, say something.
Oh,
So when I was listening to Bob's podcast the other night,
I'm not talking about the other podcast.
there's a point to the story.
Talk louder and tell your story.
Don't yell.
I'm sorry.
Did you know that me and you are holding Josh back from raiding in hardcore?
No, not from hardcore. From
No,
hardcore.
in general.
See, I use the word hardcore for multiple things. When I said that, I meant like not hardcore death delete hardcore, like try hard sweaty hardcore. That's what I was talking
But you
about.
know we are holding them back, you know.
Yes, I heard that.
Oh, that you can do.
I heard him say that, and it made me laugh really, really hard when he said it.
It was a fun thing to say.
He's not entirely wrong. He would shoot so far ahead if we didn't complain about him shooting so far ahead.
So what were you were saying something just as we had to cut there for a moment.
Yeah, well, you're saying how we're holding Josh back, and
Oh, right.
he'd be playing EQ full time if we,
Yeah, that's true.
so yeah,
Says
it's
I'm
what it
not.
is.
Who says I'm not?
He's the one that's a little more hardcore than the rest of us.
Yeah, he always says he's a casual player. He is not casual.
He totally addressed that too on the podcast.
Definitions. Did I? What podcast?
The other one that we don't talk about.
Did I? What did I? I don't remember what I said.
You said that Sam and Alan are always on me about casual.
Oh yes, yes, you are. Because you don't understand. You don't understand. So, but the hardcore servers. You told your story. You're good.
Because of his attention span.
That was your complaint.
His attention span is very short.
No, it's not. So the hardcore servers that WoW is coming out with. So I kind of looked at their news release for that, and I was thinking about what their plan is, and it sounds like they're just doing one life servers. So if you die, you don't res, you just remain a ghost, and that seems to be the only different rule on this server. And I'm thinking to myself, at least for me, when I think about playing hardcore, the one life part is only a small part of it. Like, that's not the most important part. That's why I was so disillusioned, I think, hearing about all of the extra stuff going on with, like, Road to Rag and stuff like that, is because, to me, a hardcore server, playing hardcore, is one life, but it's also solo self-found. And that's kind of the fun part. See, the one dungeon run, I'm iffy on that. I don't understand why you can only do one dungeon run. I get it's an RP thing, but I don't care about that. The solo self-found or group found, like, only the person you're playing with, like, you can only get stuff you found yourself. Like, no auction house, no mailing stuff from alts, no buying stuff from other people, no trading amongst the community,
heirlooms,
which is just a whole server. No heirlooms, right? Yeah. Like, what is a hardcore server when you can do all of that stuff?
It's regular WoW.
Like, it is. Basically, it's regular WoW where you only get one life. It's not a hardcore server. It's a one life server.
Yeah.
Like, they should have, like, to me, if it were me doing it, I would say remove the mailboxes, remove the auction house, disable trading amongst players that you're not, like, linked to somehow. I don't know how you would do that, but, like, or just make it straight up self-found, like you can't trade at all. That would be fine. Like, just disable trading between players, disable mailboxes, disable the auction house. You don't need all that stuff. You don't need all that stuff in a hardcore server.
So only leather workers have the devil sword leather?
Yeah. Only skinners have the devil sword level. Devil sword leather.
Skinner's leather workers.
Yeah, exactly. Or a leather worker who was skinned the stuff and then dropped it for another profession or whatever people do.
Yeah, we could do a whole bunch of different combinations.
There's stuff you can do. But, like, that is, to me, what a hardcore server could be.
Yeah.
And hearing that stuff doesn't seem to be incorporated into the rule set was a big disappointment for me. Because playing hardcore when it's just one life and you've got players that, I mean, if you've made a level 6, like if you've gotten to level 60, you can go out and farm stuff and just send it to your alts. You can have a twinked out alt. You can have what?
That's not what twink means.
It is in this context. It is. You keep your stuff to yourself. What was I saying?
You can have a level 19 twink.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the point? It's not as fun when it's not fully hardcore. And I just, hearing myself say that, I sound like one of those people that's like, oh, you shouldn't have random dungeon fighter. It's not the real game and all this stuff. But it's a hardcore server. It's not a normal server.
Yeah.
Make it an actual hardcore server.
I
kind of hope they make that change.
I wanted to do a little research on the hardcore servers, but the first time I Googled hardcore, I got distracted by the first couple of links for a while.
Were they for the hardcore community app, and did you download it and actually play some hardcore? Is that what you mean by you got distracted?
Well, I definitely played some hardcore.
So is there any more news? No more news? Al has a shirt. Is that news? Show them your shirt, Alan.
We're working towards the merch.
Maybe.
It's not for purchase yet because I haven't mastered it. It still does not look good.
Hence the word towards.
Maybe in future weeks we will all have fancy shirts.
See?
And maybe one day we'll have more cups. Cups was one of our options.
Yes. Our Mere Casual cups
will not look like this.
We should at least have matching mugs. How lame is it that we don't even have matching mugs?
I don't know. They came out of your cupboard.
None of our match. I was actually, the next time, we only have 3. Oh, there's only 3.
Yeah, there's 3 of us, yeah.
Anyways, I was looking for an A.
Oh, for Al. I was like, why would we want an A? But I get it now.
I should show them what they mean. Jay.
That's my mug. So let's pause. Oh, you have one of those with, you have one like that with an S. Yeah. So let's pause for news outro because I feel like that's the end of the news.
My crack was not on there because.
Is your mic on?
Hello. Should we start over?
We can't start over. Okay, so this entire time, welcome back from our little break. Apparently, the entire first 40 minutes of the episode, Sam didn't turn her microphone on.
We'll get a little bit off of this PC and we'll try and splice it in.
I will do my best, but that's not going to work. So every spot where Sam was speaking, I'm going to leave the empty spaces out of respect for the fallen, but
you know what you can do? Can't you just add this as a separate track and run them together?
I mean, yes.
And then where there's spikes on this, but no spikes on there, that's Sam.
Maybe. I can try. I've got, nothing better to do than sit and painstakingly splice 2 audio files together.
You said audio file.
Yeah.
You can send it to me. I can do. You don't have to do all this your own.
I know. I do. I want to do it.
Why didn't you remind me to turn it on?
He was about to say, I like. And then he was like, wait, I'm complaining.
Because it's making sure your microphone's on is like one of the things you do.
It's a good thing
like
that...
why did you turn it off?
Yes,
I didn't.
It's one of those things you do. That's why I checked as soon as he asked you. I made sure mine was on. Don't touch my mic. Hello.
Okay, so
she's playing with my...
We paused for news outro. We took a break. We're back. All our microphones are on now. So let's talk about what did we do this week while we were playing. I'm going to start with Sam now that she's able to actually speak. What'd you do this week, Sam?
Because everybody else did it, so I'm one of those people. I'm a follower, not a leader. I boosted a character.
Ooh, what did you boost?
A character.
My priest.
Your priest?
Yeah.
Are you playing like a healer or a shadow priest?
Healer. I'm enjoying the priest a lot more than my hunter. I feel like I know what I'm doing better.
Well, I think I was saying, I don't remember who I said this to. It may have been while I was recording the other day. Was it in the van?
Yeah.
So Sam, in her, week of playing a level 70/71/72/73 disc priest, a level 73 disc priest, I feel like she's better at the disc priest after a week than she was after like months and months of playing the hunter.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Yes. Playing a priest, were you allowed to participate in Children's Week?
She hadn't made it yet.
Made it yet. So these are the inappropriate jokes that Al needs to control himself.
I would have left that one in.
Okay.
You're allowed to make fun of the clergy. They've asked for it. They deserve it at this point. So
take that to school.
I guess I technically did have my priest then, but it was only like a level 2 because we just switched over.
Yeah, we had probably just switched because we still went back. Oh, we need to remember to go back and do
Midsummer.
The final leg of the long strange trip.
I'm not forgetting that.
Just don't let us forget that. Because I do want to get that. Even if I'm not playing that character, I still want to have that achievement and mount done.
Oh, we're gonna play those characters. Benny, you need to open up.
I was like, who are you talking to?
Talking to Benny. You need to open up.
Benediction?
And what?
I don't even know.
I don't get that one.
So you've been enjoying the priest?
Benediction? And what?
So we started out...
I wish I could play more by myself. I die very fast.
Well, you could if you want. So there's 2 options. A, you could just kill stuff slowly as a disc priest. You do have a couple damaging abilities. You've got your wand. You've got your... What is he doing?
You said 2 options. You said A, so I put up 1.
Yeah. And then 3, you could dual spec Shadow and use that to solo. But I don't think you can't heal when you're in shadow form, can you?
We're
I don't
mere
know.
casuals.
You also have, I forgot to tell you, so oops, you have this inner fire ability that gives you a bunch of like health and armor, and I think like other stats. Use that when you're soloing. You won't take as much damage.
Well, you gotta show me how to do that.
Yeah, it's just a spell that you have. It's really not, you just cast it on yourself.
Oh.
And there's stuff you can do to
Every
solo.
time she looks that way, it's incoming danger.
What was I saying?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, so you were
Priest.
so you can solo. And I keep telling you, get on and like just try. Like kill a few things, do a few quests because you've got lots of quests available because we started questing with your character. We did do that Utgard Keep run at the beginning. You were there for that too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we did do the Utgard Keep run, but then we decided we were going to quest. We were in Howling Fjord at first. Sam was getting almost no experience for the quest kills, like
Yeah,
the
'cause you
mob
were already
kills, because
80.
I was 80 and I was helping. So we decided at a certain point, okay, we should go.
Sure, I should be playing with Al, not you.
Well, I mean, Al wasn't on, and it would still be quicker if I was helping you guys. So we decided to go and run Old Kingdom just over and over again because you were getting a ton of experience just from the kills. Like, I guess that's
So
why
I don't-
dungeon boosting's a thing. So I was basically dungeon boosting her in Old Kingdom. And she got some loot, and the quests were flying by. Then we went and did some Dragonblight. Is it called Dragonblight? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
If
so
you
we
were in Dragonblight.
We were. Because in Dragonblight, everything is, well, with the exception of a few mobs right at the very beginning that were 71, almost everything is 72 plus, which means if I kill it, or if I'm in the group when she kills it, she still gets the full experience that she would get because the anti-boosting shenanigans is not involved. Because it's green to me, I would have gotten experience from it, so it doesn't get all low. Because if I kill, like say we're in a group, and we kill a level 71 blighted... Am I boring you, Al?
What was
Little bit.
that?
So if
They call them yawns.
if we get
Oh.
if we kill a level 71 blighted bear,
Old people do those often.
she'll get like 80 experience for it. But if we kill a level 72 blighted bear, she gets like 1800 experience for it.
That's just blighted.
It's crazy. But it is what it is. So we've been trying to stick to that stuff
It's my favorite saying, whatever. It is what it is, because, is
Unless-
it wrong?
until it isn't. So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping that maybe someday Alan will log on and we can play with him. Because the extra DPS from an enhancement shaman, even a level 70 or 71, whatever you got to, will help.
So, I've been at work when you guys did it the first few days, and the other days when I came home, you were already off by the time I got home. And then the one day I could have played with you, surprise, you're on another podcast without telling anybody. I told you, but you didn't tell us. But luckily, I caught you before you even started. I got
You
to see
know
the
what?
whole
He
thing.
know what
banished
I'm-
us to the upstairs. We weren't even allowed to be on the main floor.
I didn't want to have to use push to talk. Push to talk is annoying.
Wow.
But you know what I'm hearing?
I wouldn't have banished you.
You know what I'm hearing from Alan right now? I'm hearing excuses and bitterness. Just bubbling up from
I
him.
thought you were going to say, do you know what I
Yeah.
hear from Alan? The parents from Charlie Brown.
Like the teachers?
Were
they
teachers?
I feel like Charlie
the
Brown people
adults?
didn't have parents. I think it
No,
was
no,
just
just
teachers.
like the adults of
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Thought that's what you were
Basically,
going to say.
and I think the goal is that you just tune that out and you just focus on the other characters in the show. So we've done Old Kingdom. We got on with Odonis from our Discord. What's his Discord name?
Down and Dirty or something?
Is it Down and Dirty?
Down and Dirty Dingus.
That
Yeah.
sounds right. That's an interesting name.
With
So
some numbers afterwards, which, I don't know, might have something to do with Dingus. I don't know.
all Discord IDs have numbers after them for
does
Not
not.
anymore.
Don't
I think
they?
I think they're going to end that soon. I saw news about Discord. They may be ending that little number thing at the end.
cool.
I'm gonna look it up.
And
Okay.
Mad
Don't throw your
Smarty,
phone this time.
Mad
And so
Marty.
we've been leveling with him and Mad Mardigan.
Mardigan?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
/ Smarty Marty / whatever his druid's name is. We've been leveling with him and his various iterations on the server. What is his Discord name?
Mad Marty.
Is that his Discord name?
Mad, whatever you
Yes.
just said the first time.
Mad Mardigan. I get memory issues
Fogs.
and confused. I don't remember. I can never keep straight who is who. Which reminds me, when we're done talking about what we've been doing this week, we have podcast questions. in the
Mad
Discord.
Marty.
Mad Marty? Okay, that sounds right. So we've been playing with the two of them a lot. We were playing with Mean Gene and Dimitri off and on, but one of them went on a cruise.
Dimitri.
Was it? Okay.
He's back now. He was on today on our other game.
Has it been like 10 days already?
Maybe he's
Kind of
back
jealous. I want to go on a cruise.
Do you? I don't. You can go without me.
Then who am I going with?
I don't care.
Do you want to go on a cruise with me?
So,
Do we get the same bed?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
No.
so we've been playing with all of these people off and on because it's fun. It's fun to play with people in game through the podcast. We've met people and we are enjoying our time. We've almost had several times.
See,
We've been
that's why
one
I kind of
person
want to
short.
go to BlizzCon to like meet these people.
You would have fun at BlizzCon
they
for a
won't
short
be
period
there,
of
though.
time, and then you'd want to go hide in your room.
Probably, but like I would be there for the first like couple hours, and then I'd have to go.
It would
and
be
there
a
the
lot
whole
of
time.
fun because apparently it's not about being in BlizzCon and seeing the panels and being told in condescending terms that you don't want the thing you want. It's about going and meeting people and having parties before and after and all of the cool social stuff. What?
Social.
You were just describing social activities and saying you wanted more.
Do you want the Discord news?
What Discord news?
So it was written on May 3rd, and it's been amended on May 5th and 10th to further clarify. But TL/DR, I don't know what that is, Discord usernames
Too
are...
long, didn't read. That's what TLDR stands for.
Sweet. Discord usernames are changing to remove the 4-digit discriminators. Display names are now being added, so how you appear to other users stays the same. We will be assigning priority to choose your new username based on when you registered for Discord. Nitro status and ownership of partner and verified servers. For more information, click here. You guys can't do that through this, but you can find your own click
It's good to hear that Discord has decided to step back from their discrimination policies.
Way back when Jason and I first built Discord, okay, you don't need to hear anymore.
No, I feel like you are just reading someone else's words at this point.
Yeah.
So what was that? So so they remove all the things, and if two people have the same name, whoever had it first gets to keep it?
Yeah, or if you have Nitro status, so we should get Nitro status.
What if there was someone else with my name? I want my name.
Then you are SOL.
No, I'm not. I'm Josh/Will Riker. But I want to keep that name. What about server nicknames? So I guess you can still have whatever server nickname, right? Because you know how you have your Discord name, and then you join a server, you can make a name to appear in that server. You could still do that, right?
I think so. They don't. I didn't get far enough in the article.
Like I'm not going to have to
stopped
change
me?
my Discord names because sorry to spoil this. I'm sorry to spoil this for people, but I'm not the real Will Riker.
Is there a real Will Riker? That
Yeah.
was easy to say, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's terribly hard. He actually. Do I have it? I don't have
Yeah.
a Riker doll. He was actually a character in a TV show called Star Trek.
Character. So there's no real one.
He's real. It's an what's the documentary? It's a documentary based on the journeys of the Starship Enterprise.
Can
and
there be a
its continuing
documentary
mission.
of a future exploit?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been beamed back. You know that. So
A
Star Trek
wormhole.
happens out in space, right? So they go out and they're
Well, they
doing
can't
all
do it in
their
a
space
confined
missions.
area.
They get far enough away. If they then send that, because Star Trek has subspace, right? Which is a way to send transmissions faster than the speed of light. So if they are way out in space and they send like their documentary footage faster than the speed of light back to Earth, it will actually arrive before any of those events happen.
So what you're saying
So what
is
happened
if we can
is
attain a speed that's faster than the speed of light, we can go backwards in time. That's what you just said?
that's theoretically yes.
I thought you were dead set against that.
Am I? Why would I be dead set against? That's physics. Why would I be dead set against that?
You said you can go further in time. You didn't say we can go backwards in time.
Well, yeah, because you can't actually go faster than light. If you could, you would end up at an event before it happened.
Have you not heard of FTL drive?
Yes, I have. That's from Battlestar Galactica
It's in a bunch of things.
when they were trying to find the Earth, FTL drive.
Find the Earth, FTL.
Is that not what is not that the right letters?
It's close.
Oh.
You needed 2 more lines.
Find the Earth. Yeah, FTL. Lurth. But yeah, no, if you travel faster than light.
You rang. Oh, not lurch.
No. Yeah, that's the whole like causality paradox. If you travel faster than light, you'll get to something before it happened.
You always were dead set against the fact that you cannot get backwards in time.
Yes, because you can't go faster than light. I'm saying if you were going faster than light, you would travel backwards in time. I'm still saying you can't. I'm saying if you could, you would.
That's not what you said to me before.
You think you want to, but you don't.
Oh.
So back to what were we talking about? Sam's priest? I don't remember how we got here. Oh, Discord names. Discord names. I feel like that's going to cause drama. But let's move on. What have you been doing in WoW this week, Al? Have you done anything in WoW this week?
Yep. So I went over and did some stuff on my Alliance Horde guys.
Why? Play with us on Benediction.
Just something quickly, getting things in the mailbox, seeing if I can make some more money. Then I go over and I would start to level my boosted character. And the new folks came on and we ran a bunch of dungeons. I think we did 3 dungeons.
Oh, so like a week ago. Yeah.
Well, it was like at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
You were talking about since I've upgraded my character, which we started with Sam's character. I don't know why you have an issue with it now.
I don't know. I don't have an issue.
We did...
I'm actively listening. When I respond to what you're saying while you're saying it, it's me actively listening. I could just sit here and silently stare at you with dead, hollow eyes, but that's not very entertaining, is it?
No, I guess not. So we did Utgard Keep. Then we did the 2 bug instances down in...
Were you there? Did you do Old Kingdom with us?
No.
We did a run. Yes.
He must have done one.
I had insanity cast upon me at least once, maybe twice.
Are you sure? Because I'm certain we've only 2-manned Old Kingdom.
Well, it's a good thing I screen capped it so I can play it back to you.
Okay, you go check because I don't think we did Old Kingdom with you. Did we?
Remember when...
Oh, right. Sam didn't move out of the way of Shadow Crash and you made fun of her for it.
Yeah, wasn't it like Down and Dirty? Was he doing it with us that first time? Or I forget whoever was.
I don't remember who it was.
Whoever was with us, and I was looking up something.
I think it was him.
And he got pinned down by the vampire.
Odonis?
Odonis. And he got pinned down by the vampire, and I was doing something else. My attention was... He's like, "Oh, come on, what are you doing?" Remember that?
Kind of, yes.
So we did those 3.
So it took us a couple attempts to get that boss down without Sam dying.
When it was just the 2 of us.
Because I think what was happening,
the 2 of us.
I think you were getting vampired and big fireball thinged at the same time.
And then the one time I ran, he told me to run away from him, so I ran away from him. And
You
then
shouldn't listen when I say things
And then
like that.
he yelled at me because I ran away from him.
You shouldn't have done it. You should know better.
It's your fault for listening to him. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
But that's really the only hard boss with Sam being level 72 at the time, priest.
He's so emo.
Who? Is that his name or something?
The vampire. No, because he's a vampire. Aren't they emo now?
Are they?
They're
I mean,
sparkly.
I guess.
No offense against emo people. I just
Or
don't
vampires.
like you.
That's cruel.
That
They
was
feel
rude.
bad enough.
Well, there are
already.
things about you I like, but they're usually on the sites that no one else is allowed to look at.
So you're up to 71 with your enhancement. Is it an enhancement shaman?
It's easy.
Have you, now that you're level 70, have you assigned talent points or are you still waiting?
I have no talent points to assign.
So they've all been assigned? Are you
I have
enhancement?
2 that I need to do.
Yeah, we'll get to those.
I have my talent points assigned before we did any of the dungeon runs. What are you talking about, Willis?
I was talking about the fact that you...
Willis.
Williker. I was talking about the fact that you
Gee,
didn't
Williker.
have any assigned when we were at lower level.
Yes.
So
I'm
do you have
so
anything
sorry.
else? Do you have anything
When
else
I
to
was
say
at
about your
level
time?
18, I had 8 talent points I didn't assign.
Well, I mean,
Okay, I guess
why
it was
not assign them?
25.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? So what else? Continue. What else have you done?
On WoW?
Yeah.
I logged in one night and saw that no one was around, and I was watching Bob. So there's that. And then I was going to log in last night and join you guys, but then you were on not last night, Friday night. Was it last night?
No, you were at our
Friday
house
night.
last
I was over here last night.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm old. On Friday night, And but you were busy on a podcast. I was so excited to be playing with you guys, and you're on a podcast, so I just went. And
You could have stayed on. I mean, it's not my fault that you logged off immediately after the podcast ended. I stayed online for hours.
well, you guys were running raids. I couldn't.
A
have done
raid.
anything.
It was fun.
You
Right?
couldn't have joined anyways. He's not 80.
I know.
So how would he have played?
Yeah.
Could have been. Like
I
a
should have
mascot.
done a little bit more logging, but I have a Valheim Discord up and a Valheim server up, and I just went on and did a little bit of Valheim.
Yeah, it's fine. Do what
But
you gotta
I'm into. I'll be into WoW this week. We'll have lots of stuff. I'm going to get up to 80.
Josh and I are in opposite weeks.
do. But we should have some time to play in the mornings.
That's
And
a
what
bit
about you?
opposite.
Are you off on any evenings?
No, I work evenings
Friday.
Monday to Thursday. I am off Friday.
Okay, well, I have tomorrow off. I have Tuesday off. I work Wednesday evening. And then
I'm also off Thursday.
I'm back to days
Oh.
on Thursday. You
So-
son of a bitch.
Josh isn't going to play anything.
I'm
New
not.
server of EQ is up, so he's not going to play with us at all for the next month.
No,
How
that is
dare
not.
you stop playing WoW for another game?
I didn't stop. It hasn't even come out yet. I just want to.
How dare you consider stopping playing? I didn't consider stopping WoW to play another game. I just did it.
So does that mean I'm not even going to have I won't even get my computer that day?
Yeah, I told you can use your computer. I have 6 other computers. I designed my setup around.
Casual.
Wait, do I have
6.
6? Oh, I only have 6 if I get the extra
6.
laptop to work.
6 other computers.
I play
5.
WoW with 1 account. I have 2, but only one's active. Oh, now that I've got a second good computer and extra monitors, I could probably dual box in WoW too. I should try that. I tried that once and it wasn't easy though. It was really hard. So can we talk about what I did this week?
No.
But I want to.
No, we got it. What did you do this week, Josh?
Oh, do you actually want to know?
No.
Yeah, I actually do.
So I helped Sam level her priest.
We already talked about that.
I know. I'm just doing it from my point of view. From your point of view, you were leveling your priest. From my point of view, I was helping you level your priest.
But you were talking about my point of view.
Weren't you telling the story?
No, you were.
Was I really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
You should have told that story.
You probably
Let's
should have
do
told
your
that
part
story.
again.
No, it's
But we can never be certain that her mic's on.
It
So
was one time.
This one time,
Out of
every
how
time.
many episodes?
this one time
28 now?
at podcast camp,
Is there a podcast camp?
I don't know, but I've been
we
to
should
camp.
start one.
Camp
Like my
podcast.
idea for Lego My Ego.
That's already a thing apparently.
Yeah, I know.
Tell the story, Al.
I had an original idea today that somebody else already had.
Would you like me to tell the story?
So we were at a flea market,
Yeah.
and there was a Lego display, and I said we should make a waffle and call it Lego My Ego. Like, how epic is that?
And you went and told the guy working the Lego booth.
He said it's already things. You're just gonna steal my idea. Like, where's Google said it's already there.
It's already a thing.
Mother of pearl.
But congratulations for thinking of something that someone else has already thought of. But
What
you
am I-
didn't know about it, so it's still kind of an original thought. What does that mean?
I
What does
don't
that
know.
mean?
It just felt like something to do.
Does that mean I don't know what that
If it
means.
means something bad, by the way, I have no idea.
That might be
Don't-
something terrible. We have no
Don't
idea what that
cancel
means.
me.
He's old. He doesn't know any better.
If you do, I'm going to shave and dye my beard and just be a younger me. And I might put a little mop up here.
Remember that time like 2 years ago when you dyed your beard brown?
You look like Walter
I got
White.
pictures of it. I'll show it to you.
That was fun. So anyways, and then, so I did that for the week when I was playing because I did after work. So after work, I had some time that I was able to play with Sam and I was able to help her level a priest. But then on Thursday or Friday, was it Friday? Friday, I did an episode
podcast.
of Warcraft Reloaded with Bob. And then after that,
And
we
friends.
got on, and friend. And after that, we got on and we did, because near the end of the episode, and this was like a 3-hour recording. So near the end of the episode, I'm like, okay, I've been up since 5 a.m. I'm kind of tired. And Bob's like talking and he's going through the thing and he's like, okay, guys, I've got us a raid when this is done. I was like, what do you mean you've got us a raid? So he's like, yeah, I signed us up. We're going to do all to R10. He's like, don't worry, we're not doing hard modes this time. Because I had told the story earlier in that podcast about the very fun run that I did with him
Yeah.
where he decided we were doing all hard modes.
The one that almost
All
turned you
hard
off
modes.
rating.
The one that did turn me off rating. I haven't rated since until last night, and then I rated.
During the podcasts, I mean, your podcast was so long that Oogly and I got on and we played about an hour of Valheim while you were doing the podcast as well.
It did go long. It was a long time.
Go
And
long.
here's the thing. So we spent a lot of time kind of digressing, talking about random stuff. At the end, I was supposed to get a chance to talk about myself, and he's like, all right, go. You've got 18 seconds.
Got 15 minutes.
He did say 15 minutes, but I didn't get 15 minutes.
And you were longer than 15 minutes.
No, I wasn't. Was I?
It went on
There's
for a while.
no way I talked for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was longer than 15 minutes.
Either way, I had other stuff to say. I had to crunch my entire backstory down into a few sentences.
That's okay. He gave me
So-
lots of time, and I had 2 words for him.
I have
I
a
got
question.
2 words for you.
So is Bob's the host of?
Bob and Mel.
Are they both the host, or is it
I
just?
feel like Bob's the host.
I think they're credited as both the hosts.
Are they?
I think so.
Because Bob hosts.
I'm
Yeah, because-
fairly confident that they're both hosts.
Mel is always there.
She's
She
the
might
eye
be
candy.
she might be a co-host.
She's the eye candy, as Bob
So
would put
are
it.
you the host and we're the co-hosts? Because I may have found a similarity between hosts.
I don't know, but I feel like in this, I feel like I'm the host of this podcast. I don't know if that's
Bob has
intentional.
called him the host of this podcast.
Well, I mean, it's kind of how it's happened. Don't you think?
well, we're all here talking.
We are all here talking.
So how
but one
is
of us
it you
talks
the
more.
hosts?
I'm just here.
Do you feel that you've talked more during this podcast
Yes.
than
You.
you think so?
Yes. You don't think?
I try to.
No, you talk. You do talk.
Well, I know that. Thank you for verifying, though.
Talk more than Sam. What were you saying, Sam? What's the similarity?
Oh, can I talk again?
If you want to. I mean, it's up to you.
Okay.
You need to interrupt more, Sam.
So, well, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
Both you
So
and
why
Bob
was I
like to
interrupting
interrupt
you?
people. Bob interrupts a lot too.
I don't enjoy it one bit. I do it because I feel like I have to. I don't like interrupting people at all.
No, you love it.
No.
Why do you feel like you have to?
Because I feel like what I have to say is more important than what you have to say.
So what I was getting at, is it a host thing?
I don't know,
is
probably.
that a thing?
My feeling when we're recording this, okay, my feeling is that somebody has to keep the flow going in a direction.
Oh,
Why
you're
don't
real
we
good
take
at that.
turns?
Do
From
you
episode
do you
to
want
episode.
to do you want to be in charge of?
Absolutely not, but I would do it if you want me
Would
to.
you? Because no, you wouldn't,
You may think you want to.
but you don't. That's the theme. That's going to be the title of the episode.
You know what?
think
I
you
get
want
to
it,
be
but
on the
you
show.
don't.
I don't care what you call me.
I
I'm still
didn't
here.
Call you.
I'm
call
still
you
your
the
partner.
Co-host
I don't
is
freaking care.
co-host is an equal title. It's an equality thing.
So you're not a co-host.
You're
I
the
didn't.
host.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the one that called me the host.
Yeah.
Others listening to the podcast declared me the host.
Okay. Discord poll. Who's the host?
Where
They
do we
can't.
put that?
They can't hear you. You have to type it into Discord.
No, they can just tell
Put that in
us.
general chat?
So also, okay. So Alduar raid.
Keep in mind, you won't hurt our feelings. But if
All
you
the war-
do, you're out.
Alduar raid 2 nights ago. I finally got some gear. It was non-hard mode.
If you did not get a weapon.
10-man. I didn't get a weapon, which is no weapons dropped. I haven't seen a weapon drop.
Which I heard from both you and Bob that you didn't get a weapon.
Oh, did he say something about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so annoying because my weapon is so bad. Like it's the best weapon you can buy on the auction house, I think.
Do you guys have anything for headaches?
Tylenol.
Yeah,
You
Tylenol.
guys are giving me a headache
Are we? Why?
because I'm old. Tired.
So are you actually going to get up and get headache stuff?
No, I'll
Okay.
wait.
So I need a weapon, and I should run more raids. I've only done a couple 10-mans. I haven't done a 25-man. I've only done like a couple Naxes. Like I need to do more. But here's the thing. What?
I'm wondering if they're watching this, if they're wondering why my coffee cup is not empty yet.
Who is they? Is your coffee cup empty?
No. There's coffee in it.
It's because you refilled it.
It's because I refilled it.
It's the
During
magic.
a pause.
It's the magic of television.
Did I interrupt you?
Yeah, I don't
Sorry.
know. I don't remember what I was saying. So I should do what I want to do is I want to do some of the Nax skip runs where you just do the last 2 bosses to try and get a Betrayer of Humanity off of KT.
I'll do that with you.
Great, hit 80, but you're not 80. You're only 65.
I was going to be like,
So-
so you're 80?
But the thing is, all of the Nax skip runs I see advertised someone's got the Betrayer hard reserved. Or in the case of the guy trying to run it yesterday, the Bat Rayer hard reserved.
You start one.
I don't want to spend 12 hours sitting in trade chat trying to convince people to go on my raid. This guy was advertising it all day, probably because the one big piece of loot a lot of Melee want was already on hard reserve. But like, if I could get a group of people, like on Benediction, like say people listening that know other people, to run me through some of these Nax skip runs, 10 and 25 man, but 10 man would do it. To try and get me a weapon, that would be cool. Because what does that take? 15 minutes to do a skip run? You just go straight to Saf, you kill KT. The KT fight takes like longer than everything else involved, probably. Saffron's easy, like 2-minute fight. KT just takes time because of that whole first phase where you gotta yank the abominations and shoot the ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. I know Saffron's easy. I've had her.
They're all easy. They're both easy. And it's a quick run. I mean, it can't be more than half an hour. I mean, maybe if Bob was leading it, it would take 3 hours. But like, it can't be like the normal people running. It can't be that long.
Don't do the hard mode.
So people should be. So listeners, if you want to support the podcast, if you're on Benediction, run me through Nax skip runs. Get me a weapon. I'm using my power to influence people. Sam, are you looking up the podcast questions?
Yeah.
Because I just thought you were on Discord.
She wasn't.
So we have.
I was trying to look up how to post a poll on Discord. It's
what you
it
do-
looks
I
fairly
can post
easy,
a
but I
poll.
think I need to do it on
I
my
can
computer.
post a poll on Discord.
Stop it.
So no, you can't. Not on our Discord. I'll ban you for sure this time.
It's my Discord as much as it's yours.
No, it's my
He will log
Discord
you
and
out
you're
of
a
it.
moderator.
Make me administrator so I can actually get things done on there.
I don't know.
I'll help
Then
you.
I can't ban you if you get unruly. Can I ban you? I can still ban you if you get unruly, can't I? So we
You
have a
probably
couple
can.
questions that people
But if
in
you
our
ban
Discord.
me, I'm quitting
quitting what?
this. I'll do my own.
Oh, okay.
You know
I'm
that
not-
people. You
I'm
know
not
that people.
laughing at you. I'm laughing with you
Do I look like I'm laughing?
on the inside. Yes. So what?
There's a lot of room in there. I guess it's possible.
You were saying something, and I have no.
You know
idea.
that people gravitate towards me.
I'm not gonna make the joke.
Because they
I'm not gonna do it.
Come on, I set you up so nice
No, I'm not gonna do it because it's mean.
because I'm large enough to have my own
Yeah,
gravity.
yeah. No, I'm not. I decided not to do it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you recognize that setup, though.
Yeah. So podcast questions from the people in the Discord.
There's two.
Okay.
From
Who
the
asked?
same person.
Oh, they're both from the same person.
Yes.
Who was it? Because I know, but
Down
remind.
and dirty.
Right. Okay.
Down and dirty dingus.
So question 1. What is the best board game and why?
How do you make an A? Well, when I said A, you did the one, so and then knocked my mic. So, what is the best board game and why?
Yes. Because I think we were talking to him about board games.
Okay, so my first answer right
I
off
know
the top
mine.
is going to be Risk, but then we're gonna discuss it down below. So,
What is the best? Like not your favorite, but what's like your best? Sorry, I dropped my phone. What is it?
I can't do it.
Why?
you can't do what?
The best.
Well, then name a couple of your favorites. You don't have to
Okay.
name the best. What are some
So-
board games you really, really like?
Clearly, the first one to take me out of North American games, Catan.
North America was good. North America is not good. Catan was good. I enjoyed
That's
Catan.
Catan.
Settlers
The
was Catan.
Zombicide.
I do enjoy Zombicide.
Oh,
Zombicide. And Raiders.
Raiders was really good.
So
So
I
Now,
put.
we played last night?
is that a recency bias because we played it for like 3 hours last night?
No, I like that game.
We have played it before.
I want to
That
buy
is
it.
that is a
And
good game.
Zombicide, if it wasn't so expensive, I would buy it. So Zombicide, Catan, and Raiders. I have to put those three at the top. I don't know which one I like more than the others.
If you had to choose one of those three to sit down and play right now, which one would you choose?
I would take myself out so I wouldn't have to make the decision.
Take
you
yourself
take
out, like
yourself
kill
out all the time?
yourself?
Yes.
That seems a bit harsh for needing to choose a board game.
Well, you put me
That's
in a
worse
scenario.
than when I ask Sam to choose what we're having for dinner.
You put me in a scenario that's not going to happen, so I gave you a scenario that's not going to happen also.
We should do something with cheese.
Why? So that we get gassed out?
No, it's lactose free.
Oh, we have lactose-free cheese, right?
I can take some of that home to
Yeah,
put on my
please
burgers.
do. That's a lot of cheese you left at our house.
So,
I won't tell you where I
Sam,
got
what's
it.
your favorite board game?
I'm not allowed to say.
You're allowed to say. We're just allowed to disagree with you, and everyone listening will make fun of you for it.
So I don't want to say.
What's your favorite board game, Sam?
My favorite board game is nobody wants to play it with me, like ever. I don't even think you will allow me to have
If you
copy
tell us
of it.
what this is, there's going to be no parking for you and you're going straight to jail.
Exactly.
What is it?
What's your
I
favorite
like
game? Sam?
Monopoly. I love Monopoly, but no one will play it with me. And you won't even let me own a copy of it.
We've
had
you
one
have owned
copy.
three. We've owned 3 copies of
You got
Monopoly.
me one for Christmas. We played it once, and then I don't know where it went.
I can hear it. She's on the verge of tears.
We had Monopoly Junior, which we played with children.
Well, we played it with...
Monopoly
the
Junior
older
is
ones.
definitely a no. I can't believe you have that game. Don't buy Monopoly Junior. That game just,
We don't have it
Well, we
anymore.
don't have it anymore. We played it
I
with
know what
the
I'm
older
getting you
kids
for
when they were
Christmas.
younger. What?
I know what I'm getting you for
Oh.
Christmas.
But we also had the Monopoly Cheaters Edition, which
Yeah,
was
that's the
quite
one you got.
possibly the dumbest idea anyone has ever
You
come
bought
up with.
that one for me.
Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, oh, Sam likes Monopoly and she also likes cheating at board games. So I'm going to get her this.
I don't cheat at board games. I just like to be banker.
Okay. And we had a normal version. I think what happened is we had all of these when a certain someone was a certain age and
he
all the
pulled-
pieces got lost.
Oh.
And we threw them out because you can't play Monopoly without the property cards or the money.
Would that certain someone still be at that certain age?
No, he's
No.
been pretty good lately. He just pulls the boxes off the shelf now. He doesn't open them anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't get that for you for Christmas.
But I
we'll be
also I
safe
do
now.
I do also like Clue.
Clue's okay. I had never played. You know how we have Clue now?
Yeah.
I never actually played Clue before we got it. And it's okay. It's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's okay. But my favorite, yeah, like I love Risk. I've always loved Risk. People won't play it with me. It's annoying.
Yeah, because you always
I'll
win.
play with you.
I sometimes win. I don't always win.
I like the different risks that our friend Brad brings over sometimes.
Yeah, those are good. And they're all
There
they're
was
all
other
the same.
versions?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a Game
there's
of
a bunch of
Thrones.
different
brought?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones
Oh, I
Risk was
remember
okay.
playing that 'cause I remember playing
the
the
map
Lannisters.
setup was a little weird.
Yes.
Like it was very exploitable. I don't remember. I feel like if you took the North, it was like a guaranteed victory. The Game of Thrones Risk, it was good.
Oh, I'm adding another one. Century.
Oh,
But,
don't add-
Centuries. Okay, so you know what? Let's turn this into something else. Let's turn this into a board game tier list. You know what tier lists are now,
I
right?
can cry over them if I don't have them.
If you want to. But you know what a tier list is, right?
I haven't talked to him in a while, but
Oh, you know what would be fun? Because this is a video now. Maybe if we figure it out, maybe we could actually have a tier list show up. It's not going to happen. We're not that good at stuff. But
speak for yourself. I can make that happen.
maybe we'll see. So let's we should sit down together and do this video.
I forgot.
Can we finish recording it first before we start discussing editing it?
Orbeez.
Do not get him Orbeez.
The pyramid.
The board game. Oh, that one was okay. So here, this is why we're doing a tier list.
I have
Okay,
that one.
so
I bought
for
it for
you-
Hannah, and she let me hold on to it while
Karen.
she's away.
So we're gonna try and agree on this a little bit. So S tier, you want to throw? That's the top tier. Okay. We're doing this. We're doing a tier list.
I didn't know what the S stood for.
It sounds so that's pretty good. So S tier, we're gonna have. Do you want Catan? Is it like S tier? Is it top tier, or is it just
Monopoly.
fond memories? Because I mean, it's good.
It depends on how you're going to play. If you're all going to get on there and say, okay, don't trade with Alan, then yeah, it kind of sucks. But just to have a game where you actually trade and actually only start
When
cutting
have
down
we
on
ever
people
said that?
every time we played.
It's never happened. He just gets bitter when he loses. Oh, I said that part out loud.
I win that game sometimes.
Sometimes I know. So
You win that
so
game
now,
sometimes.
Catan.
Oh,
S tier or A tier?
Betrayal on the House on the Hill.
I hate that game.
I'm gonna put that in.
I'll put that down below, but it's a good game.
It is a good game. It's a game we have. So let's
Zombicide.
stop. We're doing S tier. first.
Zombicide.
So we
I know.
got
I was going through
Zombicide.
my choices. Zombicide.
We got Zombicide up in the S tier.
'Cause
we
it's
should
like
make. Let's do it quick right now. Let's make a board game tier list.
Yeah, Zombicide. Because
We'll do
it's
that
like
later.
it's a D&D figurine kind of Warhammer-ish kind of thing.
Zombicide is S
And
tier.
it changes.
Is Raiders S tier.
Was that the one we played last night?
Yes.
You actually won.
I like that one.
So that's
I didn't
up there.
even mean to win.
And
I thought I was so close. I was 4 points behind you on the second game.
I know I was close. I think it might have been 3 points. And what else do we got?
And I thought you wiped me out.
Dominion.
What was the game we played 2 game nights ago? This needs to be a separate video. We need to do a board game tier list. We're going to do this, but
There's the one where we were given that card and we were.
I know we don't even know the games that we play. So
Oh,
we're
is
gonna
it
have
the
to.
one that like you flip flop? I don't even know.
That's
how
called
to,
Twister.
Is that a board game?
We got to do that naked. Oh no, nobody wants.
Oh,
this
I don't
game
know.
to
You have
twist.
4 turns. It goes one way. Next turn goes the other way.
You know, if we're playing Twister naked and it's warm enough, Sam gets sticky. So if you can be close enough to her, you won't fall over.
You can take that so many different ways.
Well, there's more than that too. I mean, you can also insert tab A into slot B.
Sometimes when we wake up in the morning,
Stop.
we'll take the blankets off and I'll take my phone and I'll just slap it to part of her and it sticks. Why are you turning red, Sam?
Did you have to tell everybody that?
Actually, we play a lot of good games, and we're not going to say
You
snakes
brought
and
up
ladders.
Twister.
No.
No, we're going to do a separate.
No, I did.
Sam's all right.
Okay, so no, I like.
Do you want me to take that part out, Sam?
No, it's fine.
So we got Zombicide up there. We got Raiders up there.
I like to put Risk up there. Hold on.
That card game is good too, actually.
The one we played like 2 game nights ago?
Is that the one where we
remember
get the
a
different
card
cards and we
game.
choose where they're going to go green, blue?
The one where
Unless you
we
guys
Yellow.
played a game after I went to bed.
No. You know the card
the one
game.
where we went to 401 Games and tried to find the fantasy version of it.
Oh, the
and they only
Wonderful
had the
World.
Is it Wonderful World?
Oh, is that the one?
Something like that.
That's a weird title for
It's
that
a
game.
I'm
Wonderful
trying
World.
so hard not to sneeze.
Bless you.
So we've got Dominion. Dominion's probably A
I
or
like-
B.
I
I
like
really like
Dominion.
Dominion.
I like Dominion.
Wait, what's A and B?
They're under S. So you start with S. S is the top tier. Then you've got A, B, C, D, and I don't know, do they do E? But there's a
How
table.
the hell does S get above all of that?
Because it's super good.
Okay.
super
So
good.
I don't know what
See,
it stands
Dominion,
for.
the thing is, you can
Century.
change it.
Century starts with a C, not an S. So I don't think it has anything to
I
do with
put in
that.
the S tier. Like, they're all good games.
There's a lot of good games. But like I said, we're going to come back to this. We're going to circle back and we're going to do a video tier ranking board games. It's
Let's
gonna
have
be
the
a
board
thing.
games with us.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
we're
good
gonna
idea.
have to talk to Brad.
We'll say, Brad, bring your truckload of board games over. We're using them as props in a YouTube video. And he'll be skeptical and possibly still asleep, but he might eventually bring them over.
Well,
he
we
won't.
could just
He'll,
show
he
up.
won't bring them over. We got to go get them.
Either way, whatever works. So that's the question. That's the answer. Sam says Monopoly. Al says a variety of
That
things.
can't be in the video,
I say
though.
Risk and a variety of things.
It is. It's an advertisement for an upcoming show, which we're going to hide behind a paywall.
Are we? I mean, I guess.
No, I think that was funny. Oh, you weren't there. Brad was listening to Daddies and Donuts, Dungeons and
thing?
Daddies.
Oh, I was like, I don't
And
remember this.
the guy says, "Oh, I have a story about this, but I think it's going to be long. It's going to be part of this podcast. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to put it behind the
reaching
paywall."
that point. I
We
never
really
went and
don't
listened
have
to
as
that.
many games as I thought. Is that all our games right there, or is
No,
there
there's
more
some
behind
over
the
there,
curtain?
too. We haven't. We usually just use Brad for his games.
Well, we don't use him. We like him.
Do we though?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he uses us too for the same reasons to
Yeah.
play his games.
Yeah.
No.
So
yeah,
that's
we'll-
what's the second? That was a long. So what was the second Discord question? Separate video for board game.
it
tier
will
rankings.
be what race
class.
class would you do? Is there no race in there?
No, if you could come up with a
Question.
new class. Sam, just read the question. We're not gonna guess.
No, guess. Keep going. You're really close.
If you could come up with a new class for World of Warcraft, what would it be?
No, he was talking about EverQuest.
Was it?
Yeah, because he said I have a question, but I think I'll make Al angry.
I thought it was because I was going to use an EverQuest class as my answer.
Oh, because it says question: if you could use a class, if you could make a class, what would it be? Example: warrior, mage, battle mage.
Let me see.
That sounds.
And then but there's like a explanation down below that he said. But I thought it was an EQ question because
No, this is about
No,
WoW.
because he used Cataclysm as his example.
Yeah, if you could. I'll just read it. Question: if you could make a class, what would it be? No, if you could make a class, what would be? I'm sure there was supposed to be it in there. If you could make a class, what would it be? Example, warrior mage / battle mage.
I like that.
I'd make, this is his answer. Should we just say what his answer was?
Spell slinger. Yeah.
I'd make
do you
a class.
Give your answer and then we'll read
I'm going to
his?
read his
we'll
answer
read
because
his
the phone's.
answer.
So he says, I would make a class where gnomes and, speaking from a cataclysm standpoint, goblins as well, called Tinkerer,
it's called
and they would make
cataclysm.
machines they can control like totems or pets as well, and they would be like turrets, and depending Horde or Alliance, they can make specific things. So that needs some fleshing out, but that's a cool idea. So you can take your phone.
I honestly thought it was an EQ
No,
question
that's a WoW
because
question.
when we were talking, because he said it in voice, and he's like, "I have a question, but it'll make."
That
Al
was a
mad."
separate thing.
so
He
that-
said something else about EQ.
Oh,
That was a
okay.
separate thing. So this is a WoW question. So if
Okay.
you, what kind of class would you want to play that doesn't exist, Sam?
I don't know.
Have you ever played? I have two answers actually, but have you ever played like a D&D character that you wish you could play in WoW
I've always played a ranger.
in D&D?
In D&D, I've never.
Okay.
I played a cleric once, but that went horribly wrong, and
So-
I'm pretty sure I burned everybody.
So ranger, the ranger you played in D&D.
That's like a hunter.
No, it's not so much. I think a
I just didn't
D&D
have a
ranger is a
pet.
lot closer to like an EverQuest ranger than a WoW hunter. Because you had swords that you used. You had a bow.
Had a bow.
But you didn't just use the bow. You used the bow sometimes. You could use the bow, but you were mostly a melee
I think
class.
I had what's it called a
That was one of my ideas, though.
Buckler.
A melee
Buckler.
hunter.
So
Buckler?
yes, so like in D&D and in games like EverQuest, a ranger is like a cross between a fighter and a druid. So you have access to some druid spells and abilities.
I don't remember having spells.
You're a fighter class. You can use a bow. A lot of rangers use a bow, but a lot of rangers are mostly like melee martial weapon class.
I got two
Okay.
words for you. Django.
Okay, I know
Yes.
we're not technically speaking about D&D, but my
not?
favorite campaign ever
Okay,
was my cat.
that was fun.
Oh.
Oh, stop groaning. That was fun. You were just not having fun because you were in a bitter stage of your life.
Love that cat. I can't find that paper to even.
Oh, we can make a new one. So, do you want me to explain what that campaign was real quick?
Well, I don't know. It might make Al angry.
Doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Okay.
So we
Do
played.
not bring up Samantha.
That's the whole reason to bring it up. So our friend Brad was DMing for us, and he came up with this idea
It'd
for
be
like
monsters.
a short.
Do you want to describe this while I go and do my laundry?
You can do whatever you want. I don't care. So
Then it won't make me mad. Talk about it
I
for a
don't know
while.
why you
It
didn't
was
like that.
fun.
Like,
Stop.
what even happened for you to hate that? Like, why?
I think Josh is spot on. I think I was just in a miserable part of my life.
Oh, okay.
he decided not to like it.
Oh, okay.
So what he decided to do was he came up with a campaign where we were all like creatures, like animals, and we had classes, and we like played through. I don't even remember what the campaign was. I just remember our classes, and it was fun. So
I
you
don't
played
remember
a
what
cat.
class I was. I was just a cat.
I think you were like a rogue or something. You were like a cat.
I guess
rogue
I was
or
like it had
swashbuckler
to
or
have
something.
been because I remember like I had to like stealth up behind people and I slashed
Yeah.
them with my claws.
Yeah, so cat rogue makes sense. I was a camel, right?
Yes.
I was a camel named Mark Camel, which that's a good name. And I had a pet because what was it? Was I like a druid or
I
something?
don't remember.
Must have been a druid or something because I had like a pet. And my pet was a camel named Samantha. Samantha. What's your name?
Samantha.
Sam the camel.
Samantha?
Samantha the camel. And I just thought it was funny that I had a
And
camel.
Sam was
pet named Sam.
absolutely impressed with that.
I don't know why you were so mad. I thought it was funny. And do you
named
want to tell us what you played?
Do you even remember?
I don't remember what I started with, but he came up with all these pre-made characters, and just to stay in the spirit of the thing, I asked to make something completely different, and I tried to make some little demon-esque thing. I just
remember at the end of the night you ripped up your character.
I remember you being
Yeah.
as difficult.
I didn't
as
actually rip
possible.
up a
No,
character.
you ripped up something at least. I know you were really angry by the end of that night.
Yeah,
and
because
you
you
ripped it
went
up.
through the list, and there was a list of things he wanted us to not make, and you took that list and you made that specific list into your class and character. You were being as difficult as you possibly
Yeah,
could.
you were beat that.
I don't remember ripping it up though.
I don't remember him ripping it up either,
I
but
remember
I
him
remember
ripping
you. I remember you
something.
being as difficult as you possibly could, and then getting really mad.
It's true.
And in hindsight, it was funny.
It's true. It's true. If I
but
can
it
quote
was-
Kurt Angle, it's true. It's
it
true.
was
I know
not
this
a
is
bad-
a point of the question, but
It is the point of the question. The point of the question is to spark a conversation.
okay.
And we also had the characters where we were supposed to put in our stats. and then we would run some
I
real life
wasn't
thing.
part of that. I wasn't allowed to be part of that.
That was that the one I was trying to do?
No.
No, Brad wanted us to do our stats and give him the character sheet.
Okay, we never
And
ended up doing
he
that.
still has those sheets.
Because I know what I wanted to do is I wanted to
I
run.
was not a fan of that either.
I wanted to run a D&D campaign where we were like ourselves like in a mall during a zombie apocalypse.
We played that. That was something like what we did with Brad.
Brad,
Or did we do that with you? We did something like that.
that was my idea. We never actually played it though.
I remember playing that.
I was told I
Did we
wasn't allowed to
actually
be
start?
part of that one.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we might have. I don't know. And this was before Dungeons and Daddies. They did something similar,
Yes.
I feel like.
So
They played themselves. But
back then,
this was years ago.
I don't think I was really in the spirit for that kind of thing. I wanted fantasy to be fantasy.
That's fantasy.
I felt like
Creating
it wasn't.
yourself?
So,
Yeah, but it's a self-insert thing.
but having listened to Dungeons and Daddies and having gone on the meds, I feel like I could probably get more into the spirit of the thing. And Brad and I were talking about this on the way home last night, actually. And
Where'd you take them?
I took him to his house.
Oh, okay.
Well, I took. Yeah. Okay.
So
So.
he took the long way. So I hope Brad doesn't listen to this.
So he still has the characters that we made up of ourselves. I mean, we could do he and I had a little disagreement on some of the things that would be allowed.
Well, he doesn't want to DM though,
No, he doesn't.
so he doesn't get.
But
to
he
say.
said he would. But
Because
He
I
did
don't
say he
mind
would.
if we were going to play, because we were talking last night about playing D&D again, getting like a
Now, I have
every 2
another
weeks or
question.
once a month or whatever. What?
Continue. I
Well,
just have a
ask your
question when you're
first.
done.
When I'm done, okay. What I was going to say is I wouldn't mind DMing because I could pull up the old stuff that I had planned for that like self-insert campaign, and we could do something like that. We could do. Oh man.
Ew.
We could. I'm fine. We could do like, because I know how much you love Dungeons and Daddies now. We could do that style of thing where it's like us thrust into this fantasy world.
So Dungeons
which
and
I did
Daddies,
come
are they
up with
just
first.
daddies, or is there mummies in there too?
There
No.
is a girl playing a daddy.
Oh,
They're just.
Ron Stampler.
It's four.
Is she Ron Stampler?
Yeah. It's 4 like comedians. I'm gonna sound really cynical about it because I listened to it and I loved it and then I got sick of it. So I listened to a lot of it.
It's the cycle he goes through.
It's the cycle. I get sick of everything. Like, why are you people here? I'm tired of you. So that's not true.
Actually, I'm impressed that you're still friends with me.
I know. It's
Eh,
been.
we have
you know,
nobody else.
Yeah, I could find someone else if I wanted
I'm just
to.
friends with you because you married him.
But so
I knew it.
here's the thing. Like, I listened to it. I found that podcast and I was like, this is great.
What is going on?
I moved my foot in such a way that it just all of a sudden cramped up.
That's
Old
fun.
age.
So I found that podcast and I was listening to it and I was like, this is hilarious. This is awesome. I love this. And then the more I listened to it, I fell into this whole point of view where I was like, this isn't like, this is staged. Like, there's no way this is like this isn't actual gameplay. This is 4 comedians that have written a bunch of funny things to happen and they've scripted it into their D&D campaign. That was my impression near the end. I don't know. Maybe they started out winging it.
I'm still
But
in
near
season
the
1.
end, I was like, I don't know how many seasons there are or how much I
Is
listened.
this like a podcast, or
It's
is it
a podcast
YouTube? Do they
series.
record it?
Well, yeah, but you have to record it if you want to be able to listen to it
I meant
later.
video.
No, it's not video. It's just podcast. I don't think there's video. Is there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Anyways, I got this impression. The longer I was listening, I got the impression that, okay, this is scripted. Because at first I was like, wow, this is amazing that this stuff is just happening. And like, oh, it's crazy that role happened right at that time. And then later I'm like,
Did
it,
that
though?
actually happen?
Like, because there are a lot of very convenient
Crit
natural crits and natural ones, like just at the perfect time for comedic value. And it's like, no.
It may have gotten to that, but I think in the first
I want to
season,
go back because I'm this person. I want to go back and listen through, and I want to count all the dice rolls, and I want to track them, and I want to see what percentage are crit hits and fails, because there was a lot of them.
I expect a report from you on my desk.
It's going to take a while. There's hundreds of hours of
I'll
it.
give you it at 5 o'clock tomorrow then.
I have to edit this podcast.
PM.
I have to work. So that was my take. I was like, it's entertaining and I like it, but I was like, this is fake. But I think
I can see it, but it's, yeah.
I listened to dozens of episodes, like a lot of episodes.
I would love to play a game like that.
That's the kind of game. That's the game that I wanted to run years ago when we were playing D&D.
I didn't know how to do it. I didn't
either. That's why we didn't do it. But that's the game I wanted to run. Yeah. I wanted to do that. I came up with not that specific idea, but an idea similar to that, and I wanted to do something like that. But we should do something like that if and when we play again.
Here's the difference. Okay, so
I'm not a professional comedian?
No. Here's the difference. We rolled up ourselves. So we were going to be role-playing ourselves, and that just killed me.
So you want fictionalized versions of ourselves?
Yeah, they rolled up characters, which just happened to be from our world.
They're mundane characters, but not necessarily them. Here's a question. I just said I'm not a professional comedian, but if people find this podcast funny, if we were able to make money on this, would I be a professional comedian at that point?
Amateurs make money.
Do they? I thought that was the defining, like, the difference. I thought amateurs don't make money and professionals do. Isn't that the difference between amateur and professional?
No, if you're new and you're still going up, but somebody will pay you to do a show because they've seen you doing the free stuff, where you just do the stand up on the free sign up on Wednesday, and they say, you can come over and do a show for me on Thursday. You're still an amateur.
Not if you're getting paid to do it.
Okay.
Isn't that I thought that was the threshold, the getting paid part.
Amateurs can make money.
I don't think
they're
they
still
can.
amateurs.
I think that's the definition of amateur.
Amateur porn stars still get paid.
But no, but that's a thing. That's a term. They're not actually amateurs. They're getting paid to do it. They're paid actors pretending to be amateurs.
Are you telling me the blood's not real?
I don't know. In wrestling? No, I don't want to talk about wrestling. Are we talking about wrestling?
We'll say we are, just to get away from this conversation.
I think
there was another question, by the way.
What is definite? What is there? I only saw the two.
Well, the one that started from Leondas.
Oh, shoot. We never answered the question. Classes that we think, Sam almost said, she said Ranger, and then we got sidetracked. What class would you like to see?
What question were you talking about?
I'll get to it as soon as we're done this one. I was thinking of the idea of like a melee hunter, which you guys just talked about with Ranger.
That's what
Otherwise,
Ranger is. Yeah.
I would say if we could somehow manage a bard.
Oh, see, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I would like to see a bard because I played a bard in D&D.
So have I.
And if we can somehow do that and get some musical stuff and then make a Chris Pine avatar.
EverQuest does a darn good bard.
Do they do a Chris Pine avatar?
Why would they do that?
Because he's a bard.
Oh, in the D&D movie?
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet. I don't know. Bard is a good answer, though. So bard. If I can't use bard as an answer...
Well, okay, I'll forfeit bard. I'll go with a spell slinger, a warrior spell slinger, which somebody already talked about. So like a battle mage. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm
going to keep bard.
I have two other answers. So answer number one is just a weird way to do that. Answer number one is an EverQuest style enchanter, where you can like charm people and control them and use them as pets and like crowd control and stuff like that.
A warlock.
No. Can warlocks charm things?
They can charm demons.
Okay. And priests have like that brief, crappy mind control. But like I'm talking like longer duration charms. Like beginning of the dungeon, you charm something and it's your pet for the dungeon kind of thing. Why are we doing the thing with the mic? That's weird. My second is like a battle cleric. So like priests in WoW, they've got like their cloth, right? I'm thinking like a battle cleric, more like a paladin. Okay, paladin, it already exists. It's a paladin. Never mind.
No, I like a battle cleric. I had a battle cleric.
I was going to describe a cleric, a priest, but wearing plate and with the ability to melee if they wanted to. And then I realized I'm just describing a paladin. So yeah, it'd be cool if WoW had a paladin class.
But there's paladins in Dungeons and Dragons, and I played a battle cleric. There's got to be some line where you can discern between the two.
But I think smite is the line.
And the freedom of alignment.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel like Dungeons and Dragons clerics are very similar to WoW paladins. I feel like that's basically that class. Because that's what I was thinking when I was saying battle cleric. I was thinking my cleric that I made that I was using, and then I realized that I was just describing my paladin. So yeah, that's the answer. What was the other question?
But can I ask my question now?
What was your question?
Back to the D&D thing.
Okay. I thought you asked it. I don't remember.
No, because I let you finish and then you guys continue talking. So what I was thinking is to get more people. What?
We're waiting for you to say your question.
I'll just keep
we're
going
listening.
like this.
I'm
Anyways,
mugging for the
what-
camera. We're
what
videoing.
is your thoughts on doing like an online thing and getting mere casual
Like in that
podcast
Roll 20
listeners
thing? Listeners?
want to join us like for a night or something?
I mean, maybe.
Just
Join
do
us
it
for what
online
for a night?
For D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons, Alan.
D&D night.
D and or D.
Roll 20?
Yeah, we just
That's
go
literally
online.
what I just said.
Oh, I wasn't listening at that point. I don't like
I was
Roll
too
20.
distracted by his face in the
Yeah, I
camera.
know, but for like
Roll
one time or a couple times, I don't know, just
Are there
to-
other options?
Yeah, a camera and just a physical sheet.
That's so much harder, isn't it?
Okay, I tried Roll 20 once, and what happened?
I was tired and sick and on like
we have
serious
COVID at
cold
that
medication. I think I did. I didn't test positive. I was barely able to be awake and alive, let alone play D&D over the computer.
My map.
That was the only fun I had because I was so drugged with cold medication. I didn't know what was going on. And you're the one that made it possible for me to delete your creatures and draw on your map and hide little messages. I liked the hidden messages. That was fun. If you zoomed in far enough, you'd see some weird comment I made.
That's why we stopped. That was our only experience playing Dungeons and Dragons through the whole pandemic. And
Yeah,
I looked and
the
said, okay,
one
this is not
time-
fun for me.
That's nothing to do with Roll20. That's because you tried to get me to play D&D on Roll20 while I was a week into the worst illness of my life and on a whole bunch of cold medication.
We hadn't played in a long time. You could have said no.
I think I did.
No, if you said no,
Anyways,
we wouldn't have done it.
Would anybody be interested in that playing?
Yes.
The thing.
I mean, I
Like
guess
with-
so. Oh, are
with-
you asking not us?
Not us. I was talking to the people.
Who wants to play Dungeons and Dragons with us? It's behind a
if we can
paywall.
figure out how to do
Your
Roll
paywalls.
20 or something.
Someone at Al's work told him to monetize the podcast, so now everything's going to be behind a paywall.
And I heard the word paywall on Dungeons and Daddies yesterday. So
Was that the first time you'd heard that term?
Okay, I'm done.
no,
You
I've
go to
heard
the
of a
next
paywall
question.
before, but it's usually when I'm reading
Do you wanna read
Toronto
the next
Star.
question?
I don't know what the next question
It's
is. I
usually
don't
when
know
I'm reading
what it
Toronto
means.
Star articles. I know about that paywall.
So what is the next question?
Leondes.
Is that the question or the name of the person that wrote it?
Yes. What would be the best class to boost based on which class is the hardest, most painful to level? Now, there has been some discussion already in the Discord,
Oh, that could be why I didn't know what you were
but
talking
we
about.
could bring it up on here so that Leondes knows that we read his question. And
Well, I think I responded to him in
Yes.
Discord.
well, your first response is, "Oh, that would be fun to talk about on the next episode."
Oh,
Okay, and I stand by that response.
You're sitting.
I don't want to stand up right now. My answer to that, I think I said this after I said that, was if I was to boost. No, that doesn't work because it's not what I did. But best class to boost to me is a caster class because I hate leveling caster classes. I find melee classes so much easier to level, just because they scale better with like noob gear. They're easier to heirloom with the weapons, and you don't have to put like super expensive molten core spell power enchants on them. I find melee classes way easier to level than caster classes. So if I was to boost another character, which I cannot, I would boost a caster class. I'd boost like a warlock or a mage because I hate leveling those.
So your answer is to boost something you don't really want to play because
No, to
you
boost
can get
something
through
you
them.
don't
and
want to
all.
level, but you do want to play.
Okay.
Like for example, I would love to play a mage or a warlock. I just don't want to level one.
I have a mage.
What level though?
That's just
I
amazing.
don't know. I'm playing with your Shocktopus.
So like 11.
So my answer would be almost the opposite. Is like play something that you boost something you want to play. It depends. You can level anything depending on who you have with you or what you're willing to do. Because you get into dungeon runs, you have a healer follow you. You're the healer you follow. So, for instance, I boosted my shaman because I didn't play any shaman since Classic started, and shaman was my first since I started playing in the Burning Crusade, Josh. I think Alan started during Wrath.
Well,
So anyway, Burning Crusade. Yeah, I'd say the best class is for me as a shaman. anything you want to play, as long as you have friends around you that can make it easier if you have run any difficult patches. The worst I ever found, I didn't boost him, but I took my warrior over into Wrath at level 68, and I was getting chewed up and spit out by the freaking bugs outside of Warsong Old.
True.
And then somebody smart and wise said, I have an idea. And almost said it like this, I have an idea. Why don't you go back to the Burning Crusade zones until you're 70 and then come back?
Who said that?
Was a wise old man.
I'm not old.
Thought it was me.
You're not an old or a man.
Oh, you're finally saying I'm not old.
Or man.
You're old, Sam. What do you think, Sam? What's the best class to boost?
I don't know.
Excuse me.
Good answer. So my answer, though,
don't know.
that's all like, what would we boost if we had a choice? The best class to boost, like overall,
Paladin.
if you're in a guild, ask them what they're short on and boost that. If it's something you want to play. Or like boost a healer and you can do GDKPs for gold and then level alts with all the good gear. Or make like one of the top tier DPS classes and just learn how to play it super well and raid with that. But if you're looking, like if you're on a server like Benediction and you want to make some gold, boost a healer, gear the healer out, and you'll always be able to find like GDKP groups. I can't say that fast, and it's annoying.
That fast. It's easy.
No. So I feel like that's a good answer. Do we have anything else to talk about? Because this is long.
Al's work stories.
No.
Oh, do we want to do an Al's work story section?
I'll do a
I
quick
have a
one.
Sam work story.
Oh,
Makes
okay,
me look
so
like an
pause.
idiot, though.
Pause for
and that's
Al's work
different
story.
How?
Pause for Al's work story intro, and just in your
do,
head,
Just do Al's work story intro.
Should I-
your head,
should I
while you're
tell the
listening to
story?
the intro, just pretend that it also says Sam.
But should I tell the story?
Okay.
Sure, I don't
so
even know
we've
what you're
paused.
talking about.
So we've
Yeah,
paused.
tell the story.
We've paused, and we're in Al's work story. Today, I have a special guest with me on Al's work story. It's Sam. Sam, do you have an Al's work story that you would like to share?
Well, it's a Sam work story, and it's kind of a stupid story, and I don't know why I brought it up to tell people because it makes me look like an idiot.
Tell the story,
And
Sam.
I should have known better.
Tell the story, Sam.
Should I use props? Show them the thing that I
Well,
used?
no, because you're just gonna hurt yourself again. Just
I'm
tell,
not gonna
tell
like
the story.
fully do it, but
You
show
can
them.
show them the thing as long as you don't knock my tripod.
Are your
over.
props your breasts?
It's part of the story.
It is kind of part of the story.
Woohoo! Saw your crack, Sam. Well, both of them.
My pants are up too high. I got mom jeans on. Okay, so I had this giant
Water bottle.
64-ounce water bottle.
1,900 milliliters for people who use normal measurements.
Oh, sorry.
How much does it hold?
2 liters.
1,900 milliliters.
Oh.
Anyways,
2 liters if you fill it right up to the nozzle.
yeah. So I put like juice crystals in it. So to wash it, because I'm assuming it's not dishwasher safe.
That's
And I
probably
can't
safe.
get my hand in it to like clean it. So my smart idea was to take boiling water from our kettle at work and fill it up about a quarter of the way full, put the lid back on, and shake the shit out of it.
Why did you have shit
And
in
what
it?
happened when you did that,
So
Sam?
when I did it, the pressure of it popped the lid and sprayed all over me.
Did you burn yourself, Sam?
I burned my chest really bad. It's not that bad.
No,
Would you
don't
like to
show,
show
don't
everybody?
You want to see? Like, it's not that bad now.
Wow.
It's healed a little
It's
bit.
healed a lot.
It's gone down more here.
I did get I didn't actually get my boobs. I went like this real fast.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. But I messed
Speaking
them.
of doing that real fast, I better put this away. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah.
Oh, Alan.
So going back to the podcast about embarrassing stories where I didn't really have one, there's my embarrassing story.
It's only it's not that embarrassing.
It's not really embarrassing, but it's stupid. Why would I think that was an okay thing to do?
I have
would've
no
thought
idea what
that.
goes on in your head, so I don't know.
Like, I should have known the
And it was
pressure of
juice
boiling.
crystals? You were washing with juice crystals instead of soap?
No, well, I was rinsing it.
She was
out.
trying to get the juice crystals out.
I was trying to get that like juice crystal flavor out so I could use a new one.
because she can't just drink water.
Were you feeling the pressure? It's good fun.
It's like, is it kind of like the one time you took your big water bottle to work and one of your coworkers kept shoving cucumbers into it?
Oh, I hate it. Oh, don't
Is
even
that
get
the
me
euphemism
started on
you're
that.
using?
Do you know how long it like doing the hot water thing did not take the
Leave it out in the sun.
cucumber taste out of it?
Open it up and let the sun hit it.
I feel like that would make it
That
worse.
wouldn't work. So, do you have a work story, Al? As I
Yeah.
fight back the yawn.
Okay, well, I'll make this, and it's hopefully this person isn't listening because he'll go,
listens
why are
to
you
this.
telling him that story? So I'm not going to give any names, but somebody I know came by and he says, oh, hi, how you doing? I said, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. He goes, yeah. So just so you know, me and her split. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He goes, yeah, we were starting fighting. It got really bad. So he goes, yeah. And we were talking for a while. And yeah, it's kind of lonely too. And then we got that awkward silence. And he was looking at me and I was looking at him. And I said, you know I'm not going to date you, right? And he's like trying to pay for his order because we were at the self-checkout. He's like, okay, thanks, Al. I'm trying to pay. And you got me all flustered. So that was there. I had a few other stories. But I won't share them right now.
See, for the first half of that story, I was thinking, is this going to get funny or is this just going to be weird and sad? But yeah,
It manages to do both.
Do you have any work stories, Josh?
no, I don't think so. This isn't the Josh's work stories segment.
Oh, I only
I
have.
have
one
another
work
special
story.
guest star, Josh.
Most of my work stories I'm not allowed to tell because of confidentiality.
I'm not allowed
But
to
like
tell
things
mine
that-
either.
Happened to you?
I don't know.
Oh, I guess you already told the one.
Yeah, I don't have nothing happens to me right now, so I'm going to yawn.
I did have one customer come in and complain, why do we have to do it this way? Why do we have to do it this way? And then she's swearing, and I looked at her and I said, there's no need for that kind of language. She goes, sorry, I didn't know you were there. And I said, well, it doesn't matter if I'm here or not. And she goes, well, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? I said, look, I didn't make you come into the self-checkout. If you don't like the way these machines work, why do you use them? And she just looked at me, no answer.
Fascinating.
Yes. And then I went back, and then I said they were starting to pay and they were having trouble. And my coworker went to go up to her because she saw. I said, no, just come back. So she came back, and then finally the husband looked over and he goes, he's waving at me. Oh, you can see me now. He's waving at me, and he yelled back, said, I don't know if I can come over. Is it safe? He's like, yeah. I come over, and I helped him out. But the thing is, you do it with a smile, and even though I was throwing all that shade at them, they left and they just said, have a good weekend. I said, you have a good weekend too. It was fun serving you.
Nice. I feel like we should cut this off though.
That's outrageous.
Every time.
Oh shoot, we can't. We forgot that we didn't plug our Rested XP code, and we didn't talk about our Discord.
That's outrageous.
If you wanna support the podcast, and you also like Rested XP, use our promo code Mere Casuals, all one word. Or if you want to join us and have discussions and play games and join our groups and stuff,
Ask questions we can talk about.
or
on the
ask questions to
podcast.
talk about on the podcast, join our Discord.
Board
The link
games
is in
and
the
D&D.
description,
New
probably.
sections on Discord.
Yeah, we should add that.
Yeah, that could be like the other section, but
Put it
we have
behind a paywall.
separate section for each thing.
Yeah, it'll be behind the paywall.
But
Putting it behind the paywall.
Oh,
everything's gonna be behind a paywall. So yeah, those two things. Check us out on YouTube.
We did have another question that we wanted to put in, so you can cut this out if you don't want it mentioned. But how do people feel? Like, if we want to monetize, how do people feel about a few commercials here and there?
oh yeah. You said you were going to ask about
Ads.
that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can always because we're right at the end. If we were to have ads show up in the podcast, would people hate that, or is that just the way podcasts are now?
Yeah.
Because most of the podcasts I listen to have ads,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, I just skip them. But like, if we were to put them in,
Now, if we have ads, we need you to hear them. But if you skip them, we won't know.
how does it work? I don't know how it works.
I don't know.
Well, in this case, it would just be an ad thrown in by whoever puts
if
it
we
in.
if we were to monetize it on the
But-
platform we
But
use,
we're
they
we're
throw
doing
the
things
ads
that
in.
are costing us
Can
money
we
now.
like pick the ads?
I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
No, not
So,
if you use the
if we-
platform monetization.
Oh, okay.
So we're buying new equipment. We're renting servers. We're probably going to boost our Discord.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we might have to start monetizing and seeing what comes in. I mean, there's 50 of you right now.
Yeah, because this is
It's not much,
in the Discord,
give or
we
take.
have more listeners.
Okay,
than
so
50,
think
though.
of it this way. You say 50 is not a lot. But if they ended up in your bedroom, all 50 of them, that's a lot of people.
That's a weird thing to say. Why
Yeah.
would they be in our bedroom?
I
First
don't
of
know.
all, they're only invited if they're not guys
But-
into my bedroom.
Okay, so they're
Have you
probably...
seen our podcast listener demographics?
Yeah, so my bedroom's going to stay the way it is. The only thing in there
But
other
you
than me is going to
understand
be
what I'm
cat hair.
saying, right? So 50 is still a lot.
Yeah, we also have more
I'm
than
not
50
complaining.
listeners.
I love you all.
Um,
I love you.
Yes, 'cause this
you love
does-
Okay, turn it
me.
off now. We're done.
this does cost us money to make this. And on that note, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about Raid Shadow Legends.